Hello, my name is Travis Trotter, and this is my final project for BA 302, and this is my ideal company. So the first thing I would look for in my ideal company would be a company that values diversity. Some of the benefits of diversity include higher creativity and decision making. People with different opinions and perspectives and values are creative and think outside the box when faced with problems. It also gives a better understanding and service to the customers. They can create products and serve a much wider customer base. It also creates a happier workplace environment for all of the employees. Not only is it good for the bottom line, it's good for the employees. When they feel they are treated fairly, they are more satisfied and perform better. It also results in higher stock prices. When customers are more satisfied, they obviously spend more. And then the next thing I would encourage equal pay for all employees, period. I think it's important that they pay everyone equally and fairly, regardless of race, gender, cultural difference, etc. I think it's also important not to negotiate starting salaries and raises, so that the raises are given in a fair, performance-based manner to prevent any type of wage discrimination. So the next thing that I would look for would be a company that makes sure that all their employees are a good fit. I think that a working interview or a trial period is a great idea. Upon hiring any employees for all positions, big or small, it'd be great to have them complete a 1-month trial period or probationary period. At the end of the 30 days, the new hires would meet with an upper level manager and review how they fit within the company. They would look at the person-organization fit to make sure that the person's values, personality, and goals match the company's. Also that it is a good person-job fit, making sure that the person's skills, knowledge, abilities match the job demands. They would do this by surveying coworkers and then the direct manager of the new employee. If both parties agree, the person would be hired. If either party feels it's not a good fit, I think the idea of giving them like $1,000 stipend for their honesty is a great idea to encourage only employees that really are a good fit for the company. I think also offering an annual Big 5 personality trait review for all employees is a great way for departments to make sure that their employees, managers, coworkers develop a better sense of how their team operates and give everyone a chance to use their strength in a way that benefits everyone. I think it's also important to encourage a balance within a company. Maybe model the company after companies such as Google, with an opportunity for side projects so that the daily routine isn't so rigorous or their tasks aren't so predictable. I also like the idea of a 36-hour work week to encourage a family or personal life balance with work. Also, I think in an ideal company, I'd want unlimited sick and maternity leave so that employees are able to take care of themselves and know that the company does care about them. And then I also think that it's important for employees to have input on all parts of the company, and then to also receive feedback and know that what their input actually does matter. So for my ideal company, I think it's also important to motivate employees. One of the great ways is through, and keep them interested, and the great way is through job design. One of these options is job rotation, giving employees the opportunity to cross-train in other departments to prevent monotony. We can have a host of committees that employees can volunteer for where they get the opportunity to work with other coworkers they don't normally interact with and get the satisfaction of making a personal impact on the company. There could be a safety team, company party, planning a new sales competition, things like that. My ideal company would encourage employees to be on at least one team each quarter that does not directly relate to their department. Also, my ideal company would encourage job enlargement, with most of the managers hopefully being promoted from within. It give an opportunity for continual growth. We'd have seminars, online training, other job-related exercises to help develop every employee. Another big part is job enrichment, empowering employees to make decisions and control how their work is completed. And although my ideal company would want to make employees feel empowered, I think it's important to be sensitive that some people do prefer the more rigid black and white approach and be sensitive to that. My ideal company would have annual trainings for the managers so that they're better equipped to work with their staff and manage them in the most effective and mutually beneficial way. The managers would get a chance to understand their staff through activities and teams formed throughout the year. I think it's also important to give employees the information about things that affect their work so they make sure that they're receiving the guidance to be confident about how to perform their job duties. Everyone makes mistakes, and we give the opportunity for people to do that, but then encourage managers to coach instead of just jump in and take over. Another large part would be goal setting at the beginning of the year and performance appraisals at the end. These goal settings would go with the model that the textbook shows, which is to make sure that the goals are specific, measurable, aggressive, so they're not super easy to accomplish, but also realistic. And then there would be a time frame for each goal. Having a company that helps minimize the stress is also important for employee satisfaction and then performance. I think providing autonomy, like I said, in the job enlargement, where workers can kind of control their environment, maybe such as work hours, maybe telecommuting, things like that. Also designing work that flows, so challenge that the task is reachable but requires a stretch, meaningful, the task is worthwhile, they're not wasting their time, that'd be very frustrating as an employee, that they're competent, that they have all of the skills that they need to complete the task, and then also choice, so that they have some say in how it's carried out, which goes back to the autonomy. And then I think also it'd be great to provide services such as a free gym, healthcare, and again, telecommuting. Things that would just minimize the stress and make the work environment as happy and pleasant as it can be. Communication's also a big part of a company that can make it great or horrible. I like the idea of having an open door policy for managers so employees can feel free to take up concerns or maybe ideas and always feel like their voice is heard. I think it's also important to have clear and transparent communication on direction of the company. I know especially working for a large company it can be scary when changes on how that's going to affect me or what place I'm going to have within the company. Also, when feedback's asked, to give employees the sense that it's taken seriously and not just to appease, but actually to improve the company. I also like the idea of a company-wide social media, such as Microsoft's Yammer, which is more of a micro blog, but to kind of create a sense of community within the departments, and also a more informal way to congratulate people daily or things like that. As for the company culture and structure, I think my ideal type would be the innovative culture, where they're flexible and adaptable, experiments with new ideas, has a flat hierarchy with little importance to titles, values accountability and agility. I know I would work best in this type of environment. I think it's also important to have a strong culture, general consensus regarding the values among employees. I have workplaces where I've become very good friends with my coworkers, which has strengthened my commitment to the company. I also like a decentralized approach, having the authority and ability to make decisions. And then a lower level of formalization. Again, this gives the employees the opportunity to make decisions. The opposite of very formal organization would require the employees to follow strict guidelines and maybe follow the rule book when not acting in the best for the company. So in review, my company would value diversity. It would make sure that every employee is a good fit for the company, would encourage balance between their personal and work life, would help motivate employees, minimize stress, have good communication, have an innovative culture, and a low level of formality. Well, thank you for listening, and for all the reasons I have given, that would be my ideal company.